So anyway, they come to my house to investigate. A couple of Secret Service agents and a bunch of cops. Well, I go, how do you do? I said, you come from 10 Causeway Street, the same place where all these Treasury agents I sued. You work with the Treasury Department. Not no more. We work with the Department of Homeland Security. You're an alien. I'm a Canadian, not an American. I have the permanent resident card, but I'm a Canadian. I'm an alien. Because of this damned Patriot Act, aliens don't have any rights. If I made a presidential threat like a judge had falsely claimed, then I'm a domestic terrorist in country. Ship the bastard to Guantanamo Bay. Right? So they're telling me this, and I go, well, you guys should know something. Everybody knows what I know, because 14 men have my durable power of attorney, and here, have some evidence of murder. You want to investigate? Investigate the judge. Which judge made the complaint, must I ask? You know what I mean? And that judge is no longer on the bench. So anyway, they scurry away. They come back 2 days later without the cops and apologize to me. Mr. Amos, you're no threat to no one. Something like what happened to you, right?
Exactly.
Said,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Just allegation that disrupts your life and turns your life upside down for months. But yeah.
And I said, all right. I said, but now let's turn the worm. Thank you for being honest. Have a look at my stuff. Now you're my witnesses. You're federal agents, right?
Yep.
You're my witnesses. My matter's still ongoing. I hadn't won the matters yet. I'd won some judgments, but the matters were far from over. I said, there's oral arguments going on. You've seen my material. I've served it to you. You're federal agents. You have an oath to uphold. Come to court with me. Those agents no longer exist. Gone. Got new names, gone. You can't find them.
And is there any congressmen or senators or anybody that's trying to?
Not one soul, sir.
So you can't name not
Ron
two
Paul.
congressmen.
Ron Paul when he was running for president.
Right.
Paul when he was running for president. I sent him hard copy of my material, registered mail, along with Mike Gravel, the guy that filed the Pentagon Papers,
right?
And an American lawyer and a Canadian lawyer. They all got it. Ron Paul and all of his people, whether it be Mr. Schiff, his economic advisor, or Lou Rockwell, his former chief of staff, they all played dumb. Who's Dave Amos? Who's Dave Amos? Never heard of Dave Amos. What are you talking about? You crazy? Well, I'll tell you, David Amos exists, and he's talking on the phone to you right now. And if you doubt my existence, Google my name, David Raymond Amos, put quotes around it, and you can see, if you go to where I store illegal documents, type in judgments, and you can see when I got 4 judgments. You can see where I sued everybody and his dog. You can see where H. Marshall Jarrett, he was the boss of professional responsibility years ago, and now he's the boss of the U.S. attorneys in every district. You can see where I have many answers from, like Mr. Shelby, the U.S. attorney from Texas. You can see where I got answers from Patrick Fitzgerald, the fellow that's prosecuting the governor of Illinois right now, a month and a half before I caused that hearing in November of 2003. And I must ask the obvious question. How far does the economy have to go in the toilet, and how many people have to be killed in needless wars before people have the sand to say my name? How could one's name be such a curse word? You know what I mean? You take it's really funny. If you were to take, I was talking to on GCN to Dr. Bill Deagle one time, and I said, nobody will say my name. That's what I said. I said, Google those words. Nobody will say my name, and put quotes around them. Now, you would think that combination of words, you would have thousands of hits in Google. You will find only me and some cyber game. That's the only hits you'll have with that particular phrase with quotes around it. Try it. It's a hoot. And how can one man on the planet have a name that nobody will say? You know what I mean? They curse people's gods, but they won't say one dumb Canadian's name. That's got to be interesting. never mind my name. What about your public records? I've been in many courts. You can go to my records and hear me argue, judges. The dockets should exist. Where did they go? I caused hearings at the U.S. Senate Banking Committee. They were transmitted live on C-SPAN, and people have about a 15-minute memory. Most folks would have no clue about that hearing that went missing 6 years ago, although it directly relates to what's going on today. Like, for instance, Elliot Spitzer. You asked about Elliot Spitzer. At the time, he was the Attorney General of New York, and he was making a lot of bones for the common man prosecuting Merrill Lynch or whoever he chose to chastise on a particular day. He took my material. He got the same material Peter Fitzgerald got, the senator in Chicago.
Right.
The same letters addressed to the same fellas. He testified at the hearing. Peter Fitzgerald quit. And this unknown named Barack Obama goes for his seat. That's one. Stephen Cutler was Mr. Donaldson's top enforcement lawyer, and now he's boss of J.P. Morgan, one of the banks buying up all the other banks at 10 cents in the dollar with other people's money, your money.
Right.
And they want to give the TARP money back. Huh?
Our money.
They want to give the TARP. They want to give the TARP money back because they're making too much money. Then the third guy was Robert Glauber. He's a former SEC lawyer, teaches at Harvard, a neighbor to my wife's family, and 6 years ago, he was the co-chair of the Investment Dealers Association, and the other fellow was Bernie Madoff. And yes, I'm the guy that caused Bernie Madoff to plead guilty. And in the email I sent you, you can see the exchange between a bunch of lawyers and the U.S. attorney and I before and after the hearing. And you can see where the U.S. attorney admitted filing the emails that I sent you, Jim, under seal. And then you can see where ABC and NBC petitioned the court to see everybody's emails, including mine, and the U.S. attorney was worried about it, the lady named Wendy Olson. And I said, unseal him. I've been bitching about it and talking about it everywhere.
Well, why don't you tell people where, because I don't have the window up because we're running my board here so we can record this. But why don't you tell people where they can go to see these? You have a site, and feel free to, at any time, let the people know where they can.
Okay, number one, before you look into Dave Amos, look to the U.S. Senate Banking Committee. So say one were to employ Google, a company that was initially funded by the CIA, by the way. Let's say, and now the boss is one of Mr. Obama's top economic advisors, along with Donaldson, Ferguson, Mr. Campos, Paul Volcker. You see how these names come off the top of my head? Anyway, if you were to Google Senate Banking Committee, as I said earlier in the show,
right,
you go right to the website of the Senate Banking Committee, Housing and Urban Affairs. It'll be your number one hit. And then you can search the record, as everybody does. It's public record. So you click on hearings, view current hearings, and then you search for the hearings. There's a search bar. There's a little tab you press. The year will pop up. You tip on the year 2003. You look for November the 18th and November the 20th. You confirm what I say is true. You see the PDF files for their statements before the hearings, no transcript for the hearing, no webcast. You go to the 20th, you'll see Spitzer, Donaldson, Mr. Glauber speaking, no transcript. You can get the PDF files for the statements, and lo and behold, look, there's a link for the webcast. Oh, let's watch the hearing. Click on the tab for the webcast, and look, it doesn't work. Where did the hearing go? If you play poker, there's your tell. They blinked. They left the link to it. All right, so now you know something's missing. Why?